What's up, everybody? This is Angel Ghost Girl here. In today's video, I'm going to tell you about a little story about when me, my mom, my sister, and my brother lived in this haunted cottage house. This haunted cottage house was, yeah, I probably butchered the name just now. Ignore that. If you hear any noise in the background, that could be the dog. So just let you know ahead of time. But this house that we lived in, it was built in, I think it was 1969, 1970. When we moved in, there was a door like to my mom's bedroom that looked like it used to have like a bunch of locks on it. So I just thought that was kind of weird. Um, but yeah, in the house, my brother had seen things, my sister had seen things. I heard something one time, so I'm just going to tell you like a little story about that. But we moved. It was a little cottage house in North Fort Myers, Florida. So I'm just going to tell you, we had moved in there probably, I'd say, mid 2019, maybe late 2019, around there. And we lived there for a couple years. And this one time, my mom had, so you can see the dog back there, just sorry. But my mom had like a friend of hers that built like a brick like fire pit in the backyard and stuff like that to kind of control like a fire. So we had one of those and like a fire thing that you put in the middle, like that you can put stuff in and wood in, stuff like that in the middle. My brother, he invited some friends over, so he did, and they were out there. They had a little bonfire together. We had plenty of other bonfires. Me, my mom, my sister, and my brother, and invited some family members over. Even had like a little movie night where we had a projector and did a little movie night out there. But on this particular night, it was just my brother and a few friends of his, and they were just hanging out, doing a bonfire. I think they even were doing s'mores. Well, his friends, they leave. His girlfriend at the time, they stayed out there for a little bit hanging out, and then she goes to either left to go get something or she went in the house to go to sleep. Well, he's sitting there, he's sleeping, not really sleeping, but he starts to drift off to fall asleep, and this woman just runs right at him. I guess she had long black hair and a long white like flowy dress, and she's just yelling at him, telling him, "Put out the fire! Put out the fire!" So then he's like startled and he like wakes up and all of a sudden she's gone. Like he doesn't see her anywhere. So then he realized that, that wasn't a real person. I had to have seen a spirit. So he runs back in the side, all hysteric, telling my mom, I saw a lady in the backyard. She's yelling at me, telling me to put out the fire. So she said, calm down, calm down. And they went in the backyard and they looked around. They couldn't find her anywhere. And that's when my brother realized, like, I'm pretty sure I saw a spirit of a woman that had long black hair and like a long flowy white dress. I don't know why I didn't tell the story sooner, because I haven't thought about it. And I know my mom probably, because me and my mom, we did a video on here a little while back, like a paranormal chill video. One of those videos. If you look back for it, you might be able to find it. I might get her to redo the video with me, to redo another video, and talk about some of her haunted experiences and, through her life and stuff like that. Because she has definitely has some stories to tell you about the paranormal and stuff like that. But my brother and her went out there, and I guess they didn't find nobody and see nobody, and they just put the fire out. But later on that night, I guess, probably even at 3 o'clock in the morning, I guess my brother was sleepwalking, and for some weird reason went right back out there and was kind of acting weird. And I know that, I think that at that time I might have been in the room with my mom. I went in there, or it was later on when she was showing me the camera footage of when he was going back out there and stuff like that. And his girlfriend at the time was trying to get him to come back in the house. But yeah, he was saying, went back out there. Because once in a while he sleepwalks. So I guess like for some reason he was sleepwalking again later on that night and went back out there. And I don't know what he was doing, but yeah. But that is just at least one of the stories of the house, the haunted cottage house that we lived in. Another story, another thing. Oh, these are all true stories, though, mind you. Um, was one time my sister, she was, I guess, in the kitchen. She was doing something in the kitchen. At some point, I don't know if she was getting food or she getting a drink or she was just walking through the kitchen, because. So I'm gonna give you the layout of the house. Okay, so if you go like the house is like just like spread out like this. So if you come in the front door, like pretty much like this, there is like a walkway, like it has little steps that goes up to the kitchen and the rest of the house. And on this side, you just have my mom's bedroom. You have her bedroom door and stuff like that. So you'd walk in the front door, and then you walk these little tiny steps up into the kitchen. You walk through the kitchen, and then like make like a turn to your left, and then there's like a little dining room area, and then there's a little like foyer area where you can go like sit in. I think that used to be an old porch or whatnot that's like kind of like now built in as part of the house now. There's that. But if you just keep going straight like back and then you make a little bit of another left turn, my room's right there, and then right next to it was the bathroom, and then on this side was my sister's room, and then you had a back room right here. Okay, so now we're gonna go back to when my sister was in the kitchen. So I'll just give you a layout of the house. So one time she was in the kitchen, just getting herself something to eat or something to drink. I'm not sure, but at one point she turned to look to a certain way or go like she was gonna walk into my mom's room or walk into the living room, I think it was, and she saw a silhouette of a little boy. And I think she said he was wearing some kind of pajamas, like old style pajamas, and I think she even said he was transparent, that you can see straight through him. But I don't remember and recall. I'll have to ask her later, and then maybe on the next video, whatever, if I can remember, I'll give a brush up on that story and let you know exactly what she saw. But I know that she did say something about seeing a little boy, like way shorter than her, like a little boy, and he had like old style pajamas or something on, but she said he had no head, nothing. Like she seen him, like I guess she said she basically, but she described him as a headless little boy, and he was transparent, and he like all of a sudden just faded away. At the same time that she was looking at him, he just faded away out of nowhere, and she was, I guess, she just freaked out, and she did tell my mom about it later on, and me and stuff like that. But yeah, there was another thing that happened there. There's even, if you go back to a previous couple videos, I think it was a paranormal and chill video. My mom had caught on camera a thing that looked kind of like it kind of like looked like a UFO in the backyard, kind of going across the sky. It was really weird. I know I don't think I'll be able to put the video in this because I'm not sure that she still has it. But I know I had to put it in one of the previous videos, and I think it was the paranormal chill video I did with her. If you go back and watch that video, you might be able to find it there. But it was another time my mom did another video. Not did another video, but she caught another thing when my sister was taking the dog out, her dog Tyson. Like right, like a few minutes after she comes in the house, there is like a light that kind of like floats in the air and comes down, coming towards the house, which was really weird. My mom caught that. So that right there could have been like more of a ghost spirit, because it was more like smaller than the UFO like thing we see flying in the backyard on the camera, because we had like a front door camera and we had like a backyard camera, but we're like on the back of the house we had like a camera there, like just to surveillance, pretty much to protect the property and make sure nobody that wasn't supposed to be, to come on the property. And then that way, if you weren't home, you would know who's there knocking on the door. If someone rang the doorbell, it would go under the camera. We had like one of those cameras, and caught that in the backyard. And in the front yard, the one day, my sister, like I said, when my sister was taking the dog out, there was like a light, like very kind of slowly coming towards the house. In a way, thought that was kind of weird. It was like that could have been a UFO, but that also could have been actual spirit, like an orb, as well, which was kind of weird. Now there was one time that I was going from the kitchen area, and I stepped down the steps and I was going to go to my mom's room. I think I was gonna go to see what her and her boyfriend was doing. I think they were watching a movie at the time. And I got to the last end, like the last step, and all I heard was like a woman crying. I'm like, oh wow, like somebody upset. Thinking myself, somebody upset. Did they get into like an argument or something? Maybe she's just like crying. She's upset. So I go knock on the door to just see what they were up to, see if they were watching a movie or something. And they said to come in. So I came in the room. They were just watching a movie all normal, and they were laughing and hanging out. And I'm like, they don't seem like, none of them seemed like they were like crying, and it was clearly a woman that was crying. And then I had asked her, I was like, were you or anybody over here crying or sobbing, basically sobbing their eyes out? And she's like, no. She's like, everything is good. Why? I was like, oh, I'm just asking. So then I was like, well, maybe it's my sister. And I'm thinking, no, there's no way it's my sister, because she's whole way on the other house. I would never hear her. Even if she's crying or bawling, I would never hear her. So I just walked through the house, checking to make sure maybe she didn't, like, make sure that my brother and his girlfriend wasn't there, like, fighting and arguing or something, and maybe she was upset, or maybe my sister was upset, like maybe she was crying because somebody on a movie or whatever, maybe they did away with somebody on a movie she was watching. So I'm like, okay, well, she's still clearly in her room way over here, and this was literally, and now dawned on me. I was like, okay, there's nobody else here except for me and my mom and her boyfriend and my sister. My brother is away somewhere. I think at that time he was maybe staying with friends or whatever. He wasn't really exactly living with us at the time. And I was like, there's nobody outside. And this is like in the dead of night. It's probably like 8:30, 9 o'clock. There's nobody going to be right outside, because we're a little back in the woods a little bit, wooded area a little bit. I was like, there's no way anybody could be like really right by the door like that, crying or bawling their eyes out. So I'm like, okay, that was clearly right outside the front door or right inside the front door, and there's nobody definitely inside the front door right there that could be crying. So I was pretty sure that I heard a spirit of a woman crying and stuff. So that was like, that's the only thing I've ever heard. Yeah. And I'm also going to put on this video that is definitely, it's not the cottage house story, but I'm going to tell you another story, not today, but maybe on a different video, about when me and my mom were at the movies. We went back in August, we went to the movies for my birthday, me, my mom, and my sister, and we had a paranormal experience there. So I'm going to talk about that. I think we mentioned it in the last video, when we were doing a cemetery video. But if you want to see another paranormal and chill video with me and my mom, just like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments below, and maybe we'll do that. And if this video can get to maybe 100 likes, maybe I definitely will do that video. So until next time, everybody, sweet dreams, or should I say sweet nightmares.